Hey, everybody, welcome to another fantastic media night here on the Omnibus Collectors Network, Omnibros Live on a Wednesday night. It's your boy Gio here, still petitioning for that Inhumans Omnibus. We're going to make it happen. Don't worry about it. And of course, I am joined by the always great. We missed him on Monday, but he's here now. Comics Guide. Lou, how you doing, man?
Hey man, it's good to be here. Happy Wednesday. We have survived and we made it past the middle of the week. Just 2 more days and we get to that weekend, man. I don't know about you, but for me, it's always the hardest time to adjust once you come back from because I had 3 days off. Because Monday was a government holiday. I don't know if you had that off, but it's always toughest for me to come back because my week is just thrown off completely.
Yeah. Unfortunately, even though it's a federal holiday, I still had to go into work at least half a day
Okay.
because I needed to do some things at work that I totally forgot. I had no idea until the day after on
Mm.
Sunday. Oh, tomorrow's Labor Day. I'm like, son of a gun. I forgot to do X and Y thing. So I
Yeah.
had to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but what are you going to do? Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you to the chat. As always, good vibes. Max, appreciate you, buddy.
I think
Kenny,
Gabe.
thank you so much. Is the intro music what it sounds like when doves cry? I have no idea. That was a royalty free intro that Gabe found back in the day and uploaded it, and I'm just using it just for the hell of it. I would like to design something specific for Omnibros just for fun, with
Hmm.
custom music and a cool countdown with like graphics related to our channel and whatnot. But I'm just too busy with other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm still
Yeah. I
trying
think
to
we all.
upload stuff for my channel, so it's a mess. Eventually, I do want to do like a overhaul, but not now.
How's the gaming channel going? It's doing pretty well, isn't it?
I haven't uploaded in 3 weeks. All
Dude.
right,
Yeah.
it's been chaotic outside of YouTube.
Uh,
So, um, but I do have a video on the works for the gaming channel. I just need to sit down and write it and record some game footage, and I
yeah.
think it'll be cool. So hopefully next week we'll have that running. But yeah, I do have a ton of ideas. It's just sitting down and making it happen. Um,
I'm kind of surprised that you haven't done because you've been getting Pokemon cards again. I'm kind of surprised you haven't done any of the unboxings and like opening packs and stuff like that. That's pretty big.
there is one video on my channel explaining my history with the trading card game
Hmm.
and unboxing one of the Elite Trainer boxes.
Nice.
And I have another video that's scheduled, but it's not going live until like next week.
Hmm.
Unboxing more cards. And then this weekend, the Lost Origin set drops, and I have like two boxes pre-ordered.
Nice.
It's a vice. It's a vice. I'm trying to keep it on the low, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, and
I'm excited for it, but I'm treading cautiously. I don't want to get too addicted to the card thing.
yeah. I mean, especially since there's a new gen that's coming this November, so that means a whole another 100 set plus of new
Yeah,
cards and stuff
yeah.
like that.
Lost Origin comes out this week, Friday, and Silver Tempest drops in November. And I'm pretty sure by sometime in winter, we're gonna get a Gen 9 themed set. So that's coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. How, I mean, how have you been feeling so far on the Gen 9 stuff? Before.
Colin, I can't. Sorry, I was frozen for a minute. My bad.
Yeah. You
Colin,
there?
thank you so much. I'm here.
Okay. Hey, Colin. How have you been feeling so far with Gen 9? I like the ones that they've shown so far. Oh, I'm losing you, Gio.
No, I'm not. Okay, sorry. Having a technical hiccup, so I disconnected my thing. Fantastic, folks. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Let me fix this thing. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Okay. All right.
Let me put on some music. Put on some music.
All right. We'll get it together here.
There
I'm
you go. You
liking this.
in the crowd for a minute. I'll be right back. Just talk about whatever the heck you want. Let me fix this. I'll be right back. I'll be right.
So yeah, guys, this is probably as good a time as any to tell you guys But our wonderful sponsor at InStockTrades.com. InStockTrades.com, where you can get up to 50% off for your everyday comic book, graphic novels, collected edition needs. Ladies and gentlemen, take the In-Stock Trades Challenge. Are you tired of getting your stuff beaten up by the other competitors when you get a new package and it shows up and it's all busted up and you've got corners that are dinged and pages that are missing? That will not happen with In-Stock Trades. Take the In-Stock Trades Challenge with their bomb-proof packaging and you will be satisfied. We guarantee it.
Oh, hell yeah. That's In-Stock Trades, right? Our wonderful sponsor.
Yes,
and I can't even share the screen. Something's up tonight, but thank you, Lou, for plugging the sponsor. Did you tell them about the awesome deals?
About what now?
Did you tell them about the awesome deals at InStockTrades.com where you can get up to 50% off on books, including Omnis, manga?
Yes, I did.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to show off because last Monday I had a little bet on the chat of what books were going to get the 50% discount, and now I can't share my freaking screen. Thank you, StreamYard. Oh, here it is. Hey, I got it. I'm so good at this.
Here we go.
So yeah, In-Stock Trades. We love them. Wonderful packaging, amazing customer service. Here are the 50% off, or the deals of the week, I should say, from this week. Like I mentioned, the King Conan book got the discount, 46% off. And if you order on a week-by-week basis, you get that 2%. You can make it 48%. You're not going to get there on other websites. You get it here on In-Stock Trades. Robin's being Robin. Got the Star Wars. I didn't call the Star Wars nor the Superman. I didn't even know the Superman. Oh, that's a 2021 book. Fantastic. I did not know about that. And I did call the X-Men Epic Collection. So there you go. I win. Everybody else loses. Yay me. Fantastic. So yeah, that's our sponsor, In-Stock Trades. We love them. You guys do as well. All that fun stuff. Go there, buy some books. Tell them we sent you.
It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Yeah, so I was asking before you kind of glitched out there. How do you feel so far about the new gen? I'm loving what they've revealed so far. I like all the designs.
For Pokemon?
Yeah.
They revealed a lot of stuff, especially today.
Yeah.
I'm loving everything about it. And I'm very easy to please when it comes to Pokemon. I love that franchise so much. Even if it's a okay game, I'm still gonna have a lot of fun with it. So I'm biased, I guess, but I really like Lechonk and I really like Fuecoco, and the new ones that got announced today, the two Mega Man looking robot masters, whatever the hell the name are.
Yeah, those look kind of weird.
They look really cool. One of them is they're each version exclusive, whatever. One of them is Fire Ghost and the other is Firefighting, I want to say. I can't remember. But yeah, they look really cool.
I like the crab. Clawy or whatever it is, the one that they revealed today. He's kind of funky looking.
Cloth, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this channel is actually kind of, for me, it's promising some good stuff. It looks like they've listened to a lot. It looks like they took a lot from the last game that came out, that open world, and they're promoting it as, go wherever you want, take on the gyms however you want. I'm like, oh, well, that's going to be interesting.
And they just announced in the trailer, I didn't pay attention. I had to read about it because that's how wonderful I am. There's a Let's Go feature, which we saw that in the Let's Go games, where you essentially auto battle. And the partner Pokemon, he's walking with you, and you can keep running in the field or whatever, and the Pokemon will do something else, and we'll get into fights and get berries and all that stuff by himself. Or you can just go ahead and watch him. So that's going to be pretty interesting.
This feels like the biggest jump that this series needed. It needed a jump like this for years, and it feels like it's in the right direction now. Oh
yeah. So here are the new ones. Arma Rouge, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
He is a fire psychic. There we go. Straight up looks like Mega Man.
100%.
And everybody loved this guy as well, Cerulege. He is Fire Ghost. Love this
Yeah.
one personally.
Uh, are these game exclusives?
Yes,
One
Cerulege will be in Violet, and Arma Man will be in Scarlet.
son of a bitch. The one I want is in Violet.
No, we can always trade. That's what I'm doing with a buddy of mine. He gets one version, I get the other. And here's the crab cloth. Wow, it's a Stony Cliff Titan. That's pretty badass. We needed a new crab. I'm excited for him. He looks awesome.
It has been, man.
Yeah. So they revealed 3 new Pokemon and a bunch of other stuff like this. There's a trailer which I'm not gonna show. I don't want to get claimed by Game Freak and Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
But they showed off the 3 main routes, which is essentially the Victory Road, which is the Pokemon gyms, the research story about the Titan Crab will be a part of that,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one is a story mode within the city itself with this game's version of Team Rocket, which is Team Stars, Team Fire, Team something, and it looks really fun too. Team Star, a group of delinquents. There you go.
Man, yeah, this is such a crazy franchise because it's clearly it's meant for kids, but the thing is that us millennials, we grew up with this stuff so much that you've got people in their 30s and 40s and they're genuinely excited every time a new mainline gen game comes out because I think it kind of takes us back to a simpler time, and not only that, they're fun. They're fun games to play through.
Of course. Here's a question for you, Luke. You didn't show up on Monday. Any hauls or reads? Thank you for asking, Raphael.
Right now, I'm currently in between like 3 different things at the moment. I'm reading My Heart is a Chainsaw. Still going through that. It's a prose novel. I just started the White Knight Harley Quinn series by Sean Murphy. It's only like 6 issues, but it's Black Label, so it's a little bit longer. So far, I'm digging that stuff, man. Sean Murphy. It's crazy to me because Sean Murphy started out as like a badass artist. I remember the first time I saw his work was on that American Vampire series that he did with Scott Snyder, and it wasn't even the main stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was what he was working on, because at the time Scott Snyder wanted to do a World War II arc, and the arc was split into 2 American Vampire titles.
Yeah.
And they were coming out monthly, and both arcs were fantastic, just great stuff. Arguably the height of the series for me. I need to go back and finish that. And that's where I saw his art, and his art has always just stuck with me since. And then we've gotten books such as Joe the Barbarian. He did what was an underwater book that Scott Snyder did that didn't go.
Wait.
The Wake, which was him, wasn't it? I think that was him.
I think so.
Which I know some people didn't care for. I really enjoyed The Wake. Tokyo Ghost, he's done, which I really enjoyed. It was The Wake. I really enjoyed Tokyo Ghost. So seeing him kind of branch out and create basically his own version of a Batman universe where he changes certain characters around, certain motivations. What he does with Bruce is really cool. I dig it a lot. And now he's expanding even further with the Batman Beyond stuff, the Red Hood stuff, now even Harley Quinn. It's a fun series. And I'm digging the Harley Quinn story so far where there's this copycat murderer who he's going around and he's killing all these famous actors and actresses and posing them in famous positions from movies that they're known for. So it's a really cool concept. And on top of that, it's kind of mimicking the way the Joker would kill somebody. So she's going out as kind of this special investigator and helping the police kind of track down this person and find out who it is. I'm only about 2 issues in, so I'm not too far, but I'm jigging that a lot.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. No, dude, I recommend it so far. A lot of that's on the DC app. A lot of his stuff is on there. So I'm digging that. I'm about 600 pages through on Stormlight Book 2. Still really enjoying that. Can't wait to get into Book 3 and 4, hopefully before the 5th book comes out. in 2025. I think that's what Brandon Sanderson said. And the newest book that I'm gonna grab, I'm swinging by Barnes and Nobles probably this Friday to pick it up, is Stephen King's new book, Fairy Tale, which I've been hearing really great things about. I think there's talks of even making it a franchise or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's good stuff. It harkens back to the time when Stephen King wrote The Talisman with another writer that I'm blanking on his name, but he just literally passed away. I think it was yesterday or the day before. So it's looking pretty good. It's a good time to be a book fan and a lot of good stuff to read right now.
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
There's another question here for you. Jodie is a heavy rumor right now to be playing Susan Storm. Who would you like to play the Fantastic Four?
Everybody's doing the Fantastic Four fan cast. I don't know who Jodie Comer is, so I really couldn't tell you.
I have no idea.
No clue.
But shout out to Jodie. Good for her.
I don't know. I really haven't thought too much about this. I think Gabe might be on later. He probably has a better mind for this than I do. One of my choices was actually kind of left field. I wouldn't mind seeing, just because I love Ted Lasso, Jason Sudeikis maybe as Mr. Fantastic. I think that could be fun and that could work. As far as the rest of the cast, I don't know. I really don't know, honestly.
I would like to see unknowns, honestly.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Maybe one like super famous dude in there to get all the people involved.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I think going back to unknowns would probably be the best thing to do. I mean, you remember Chris Hemsworth was an unknown when he got Thor. There's been a few actors here and there. They've kind of gone more towards casting bigger names over the last few years for their projects, but I kind of wish they went back to basics. You know?
Jody, I'm just gonna say Jody to annoy Cleveland Brown tonight because he wants me to say the last name. I'm not. Was in Killing Eve and Free Guy.
Oh, was she the main protagonist?
No idea.
You never saw Free Guy?
I watched it and I barely remember it. I didn't like it.
Really? I did the hell out of that.
No. And Killing Eve, I haven't seen, so I don't know.
Yeah, I dug the hell out of Free Guy. I think Ready Player One was better, though.
She was in The Last Duel.
I still haven't seen that.
I still haven't seen Last Duel. Is that movie still on HBO Max or did that leave? Because I want to watch it.
I don't know. I think
damn. Doesn't really need to be an A-lister to be a good. Yeah, no. I, for sure. I just want unknowns because people get too obsessed with actors. Like, I want this guy. Like, just cast whoever's best. I don't know.
Yeah. At the end of the day, just cast whoever. And, you know, it's a comic book movie. As long as they deliver the goods, then that's all we care about.
Then we good.
Yeah, I think we're kind of past. I think Chadwick Boseman was, unless they really knock it out of the park, Chadwick Boseman was the last one where it's like, wow, this guy really embodies who the character is. Ever since then, it's been, well, yeah, they're a great actor in a great role. Although Tatiana Maslany is making a strong case for She-Hulk.
Oh, she's been great as the character.
She's great. She is great in that.
Yep. Before we get on to our late reviews, I do want to share two news items that I found, just for funsies. Marvel, this used to be, they're calling it Stormbreakers. Didn't this, where they named the top guns, wasn't it called like Young Guns or something like that? For like the new class of artists that they want to highlight?
I don't know. Are they bringing it back?
Yeah, but now they're calling it Stormbreakers.
Cool.
And this, let me share the image, which I put in the thumbnail because I thought it was pretty cool to highlight all the newbies, I guess. Marvel is proud to present the 2023 class of Stormbreakers, the next generation of elite artists. So Elena Casagrande, Nick Klein, is that John Bazaldua?
Yeah, I think so.
Chris Allen, Martin Coccolo. That's a dope name. Lucas Werneck, Federico Vicentini, and CF Villa or Villa.
Yeah, no, these are. I mean, there's one thing about doing still images, and then there's another about actually doing kinetic and like static and stuff like that, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
poses and everything. And so, actually seeing it in action is what I'd be interested in. But hey, congratulations to the new class. Should be some good stuff. They can you go back to that real quick? No matter what they do, they can never make that Ironheart armor just work for me.
I I dig it somewhat. It's not my favorite thing, but I dig it because it reminds me of like Mega Man stuff.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. It's nothing against Ironheart as a character.
Yeah,
I'm just I'm not one of those guys, but I just don't dig the design of that armor in particular. I will say I don't hate it here. I've seen some ones where it looks really bad. Do you remember that first time that they showed it where she was flying and her neck was all over the place? It just looked terrible.
yeah, the turtle cover.
Well, that looks horrible.
I remember sharing it, and I'm like, "Oh, this is kind of neat." And then everybody was like, "This is awful." I'm like, "Oh, okay, calm down, internet." I just thought it was okay, but I could see the disproportionate neck and all that stuff. I remember.
Who Lucas Wernick, that Scarlet Witch reminds me of somebody, and I can't put my finger on what artist that reminds me of.
You're thinking of shoot, the one that drew Scarlet Witch in the James Robinson run. Scarlet Witch,
Seen that style before, and I can't put my finger on it.
or at least it reminds me of that era.
That's not LaRocca, is it? No, that's not LaRocca.
No, 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 no. I'm looking for the friggin' who drew the damn book. Uh, Writer artist. Jordi Belair, is that who I'm thinking of? Jordi Belair.
Who was the one that did Doctor Strange with Jason Aaron when it first started?
Doctor Strange. Jason Aaron. That one has an omnibus, right?
I think it does.
Chris Bichello.
I could see that a little bit in there.
Yeah, this is very animated.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Venom reminds me of like a Sean Murphy type.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's very manga inspired, very fluid. Wicked tongue, by the way.
Yeah, I dig that a lot. You did a good job.
You got Moon Knight there, looking all beefy. And Wolverine as well, and T'Challa. T'Challa's huge in this. Damn. Okay.
Yeah. Very 90s esque. T'Challa just jacked.
And I know about Casagrande. Her art's really cool. I dig it.
Okay.
That's the only one I knew.
I dig that Wolverine. I dig Jan Bazalter. Yeah, I dig the Wolverine there. I think it looks pretty good.
Michael Collins, thank you. Everybody, hit the like button, please. It does help out the channel grow. Bit by bit, we travel far. So if you like the video, it really means a lot to us. So yeah, kind of wanted to share that for a minute. Congrats, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see their names on high-profile books. The other news item that I wanted to share before we review stuff, I thought this was pretty interesting from Newsarama. DC Comics and Universal Distribution enter new comic book direct market distribution agreement.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a lot. So get ready, folks. We're getting another distribution era thing. Yay. DC officially has a new distribution for the specialty comic book direct market Universal Distribution, a Canadian company that's been distributing comics, tabletop games for more than 30 plus years. The two companies signed a new global agreement on September 1st, which goes into effect in October. Under this new agreement, starting in October, retailers can order DC periodicals, collected editions, and graphic novels that go on sale beginning in January 2023 and beyond through Universal Distribution. However, Universal will not be the sole direct market distributor for DC. The publisher will also continue its relationship with Lunar, which was what I was going to talk about in a minute, and
Huh.
Diamond UK for direct market sales of periodicals and graphic novels, as well as its relationship with Penguin Random House. So yeah, price is averted because I'm like, what's going to happen to Lunar? Not much.
So not much is changing, really, in the general scheme of things.
Yeah, no, just more people to distribute DC books.
Hmm. Okay.
DC broke ties with Diamond in 2020. Remember when that happened and everybody lost their collective shenanigans
Yeah.
on fun times.
Yeah.
We had countless
Everybody.
videos of people. Is this the end of comics?
Oh
No,
my god.
no.
Everybody was just Chicken Little. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Just calm down.
It's all
It's
good,
gonna be.
homies. They know what they're doing.
It's gonna be two. Here we are, 2 years later. It's gonna be okay. And again, every week, Marvel and DC are on their way out. How could they keep doing this? They're terrible. Whatever. If you honestly, if you think, if you think Marvel that is run by Disney is on its way out, Marvel that is a multi-billion-dollar machine at this state is on its way out, you need to have your head examined. It's not going anywhere, guys. It's not. DC, in a few years, I could see Discovery or whatever kind of leveraging off some of the weight and selling off bits and pieces of the DC stuff.
They're the root of all evil, yada yada. 7.7. Diamond started spreading fear in different podcasts. I remember that. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they were scared because it's a pretty big thing to all of a sudden, like, no, bye, we're leaving. But, like, there was no need to spread fear.
Steve Giuseppe, man, he's a very intimidating mob boss.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, good for everybody. Don't come after me.
I think that's what his name was, right? Giuseppe? Steve Giuseppe? Something like that? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Why am I Googling this guy's name? How do you write Giuseppe?
I have no clue.
I'm going to wing it. Steve Giuseppe.
Steve, if it is his name, he looks like he cuts garlic with a razor blade because it melts inside of a pan. And if somebody in the chat gets that reference, I love you, and you are my kind of people.
That's Goodfellas, right?
Yes, it is. That is Goodfellas. Yeah. It's the greatest mob movie of all time.
I don't like mob movies, but I do like Goodfellas, so I'll agree.
I think Goodfellas is better than Godfather. I will die on that hill.
That's out of my element, so I'll agree with you. Steve Jeppy.
There you go.
Not Giuseppe. Giuseppe is his Earth 2 counterpart, by the way.
Steve Giuseppe is his Earth 2 counterpart.
Yes.
Steve Giuseppe in Earth 2 owned Penguin Random House. That's what that is.
Yeah. In that Earth, Marvel's the one that left, and he was spreading fear.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, I mean,
Steve,
do you think it?
Jeff? Yeah.
Do you think can you see in a few years? Let's try to. Well, I'm trying to keep it positive tonight, but whatever. Do you think in a few years you could see Discovery going, this isn't really working out for us. We've bled this stone dry. Let's kind of sell some of these properties out that they've got.
I don't know. I don't. I think they'll stick with it.
You think so?
Because they know that they have good IPs to milk.
Yeah.
If anything, Batman will do really well for them.
Yeah, Batman is always reliable, and I doubt they would go the route that Marvel went in the in the late 90s, 2000s, where it's like, yeah, we'll sell the rights to say Aquaman or something like that, you know?
Yep. Rick Ray, Godfather 2 over Goodfellas over Godfather.
I
I don't know.
I think I think Godfather 2 is a better movie than Godfather 1. My
There
two
you
cents.
go. So, with that, let's segue into TV shows and movies and all that fun stuff. Late reviews, everybody, where we talk about all the stuff that we missed because all the streaming shows are not coming out on Wednesdays, so we can't get to them on time, and we don't do shows on Fridays or Sundays or Thursday mornings. So whatever. Which one? Let's talk about your baby. Um, Lou, are you watching House of the Dragon?
Does the Pope shit in the woods? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm watching House of the Dragon.
How was episode 3?
Oh my god! Oh my gosh, Gio. There are things that I cannot say because my stepdaughter is in the room right now that I would say, but it's the best episode so far of the series, honestly.
As Jess would say, it's the bee's knees.
It's great. No, House of the Dragon continues its momentum, and I absolutely love the series. I know a lot of fans were miffed after the finale for Game of Thrones, the original series, and admittingly, I wasn't as hateful or angry as a lot of fans out there were. I was like, well, it didn't really stick the landing necessarily for me, but it was okay. They landed the plane with barely anything on the plane, but they landed it. And then coming back to this, it was always that question in the back of my head of, can they recapture that magic? Can they really nail what made those first few seasons of Game of Thrones, and goddamn if they haven't, man. It's been a ride all the way through, and I look forward to Sunday every single week now. Matt Smith. Matt Smith has not had the best luck with projects after leaving Doctor Who. He is crushing it every single episode and every single moment he is on the screen. This is next year come Emmy season, he's probably going to get a nom because he's that good in this, and they casted him perfectly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So the show, how many episodes are there going to be in the season?
I think it's 10. They've already renewed it for a second season.
Nice.
And it's, as you know, it's a prequel series. It follows the Targaryen family and all that other stuff. And the really great thing is, what I love the most about Game of Thrones is that you need to pay attention. Because in a single line of dialogue, if you don't catch it, you miss context for a lot of things. So it keeps skipping in time. So months will pass in the series. And if you don't catch that line of dialogue, it won't make sense. So we're seeing characters grow older. Once again, if you don't realize who that is and stuff like that, so it demands a lot out of the viewer, and it treats them with respect. It doesn't spoon feed them a lot of stuff. So that's really what I've been enjoying a lot about it. I'm looking forward to, I think it's after episode 5 when we get an even bigger time skip of about 20 years, and they recast. Yeah, they had to cast, because so far we're following the king. The central protagonist of this series is, and I don't want to butcher the name, but it's Rhaenyra Targaryen. I know I'm probably butchering it.
Don't worry about it.
King's daughter. And the general premise is the king has chosen her to become his next successor in line because he thought he was going to get a son out of his wife. The wife dies in childbirth, so does the son. And so we start getting the inner politics of, hey, should a woman be the one that rules the Iron Throne and all the kingdoms and stuff like that, and why people don't think it is, which has led to the usual people online complaining and bitching and moaning, which, funny enough, a lot of that stuff has stopped because the series has now broken almost every single record of views watched for a series on its debut. In its opening night, it had 10 million views. The second week, it did more views on the opening night than the first week, which is unheard of. Usually there's a drop off in the second episode. No, more people tuned in. And I think as of right now, HBO has said for the third episode, it's been 16 million people have watched the third episode, which is insane. Absolutely insane. So it's really interesting kind of seeing them play with the politics and stuff like that of that. I have really a lot of hope for this series, mainly because the book is finished. The book that this is based off of is done. It's kind of a historical textbook, but we know that there's an ending in place and where this story is going to go if you've read it. So they don't have to worry about, well, we got to kind of make this up as we go. It's great.
Yeah, you already have the guide out there to adapt the whole thing. Why are they... Is she leaving? What's happening? I'm going to miss Millie Alcock when they recast her.
So it's not necessarily, it's what I was explaining to you. It's not a recast. After the fifth episode, it jumps in time by 20 years. So they got another actress
to play the same character older.
Okay. Right. Gotcha. Yeah. And she is doing great. She's doing fantastic.
Demon Matt Smith was too impulsive or prone to violence to be the heir.
Yeah. No, I actually agree with him. But Jesus, man, the inner politics and Matt Smith, so to give you context, Matt Smith doesn't say a single line of dialogue in the third episode, and he steals the entire episode in the last 10 minutes.
That's very hard to pull off.
It's great. No, it's fantastic. It's so good, dude, honestly.
Cinematic Galaxy, looking forward to watching House of the Dragon at some point. So far, I've been digging Rings of Power. Me too. I'm not going to watch House of the Dragon anytime soon, unfortunately. I have too much on my plate for my channel and just stuff outside of the internet. But it looks really cool. Eventually, I'll watch it.
And the polar opposite of you in this regard.
I started watching Rings of Power, and I really dug it because I am a huge fan of Tolkien, and I'm not controversial like some people on the internet about it. Because at the end of the day, it's another show based on fake people that live in a book. And if that upsets you, I can't help you. I mean, you know.
Fictional characters.
Fictional characters, guys.
Fictional characters, guys.
They're fictional characters. So, yeah, Rings of Power finally debuted it.
Mm-hmm.
2 episodes. I watched the first one the other day and the second one yesterday. And it really shows that the Bezos money was put to good use. It's an hour per episode, and it looks like you're watching a full-length 4K motion picture. I was really impressed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. I popped this on the night that it debuted, and on the 77-inch OLED that I have here, yeah, I'm flexing it because it was a lot of money. The 77-inch OLED that I have, that thing looked gorgeous. It looks nice. So good, dude.
I'm jealous of your TV. Rings of Power is great. The first episode was a bit slow, but they took their time with it, setting things up. I do think it picks up towards the end with the reveal of a character, and then in the second episode, it's a ton of fun. I really enjoyed the second one, and it just made me want to continue. So I'm looking forward to this Friday with episode 3.
Okay. You sticking with it all the way through?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in 100%. I'm a huge fan of not Lord of the Rings, but Tolkien books in general. So I'm excited to see what they do because it's limited. If you guys don't know, they didn't have the money, or they couldn't get, the full license to the back catalog of non-Lord of the Rings stuff, so they couldn't get Silmarillion properties or license, IPs, whatever. They couldn't get the other tales and stuff like that, the unfinished tales. I'm probably butchering that. So they're mainly focusing on the Second Age and the stuff that happens a couple thousand years before The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. And they are getting advice in counsel from Tolkien's grandson. He's still alive, God bless him, and he's helping out with that. So it's a really faithful adaptation. They can't reference stuff from the Silmarillion, so they have to tread cautiously to not ruin it. And I think it's interesting. I thought I was going to be disappointed because I really wanted to see that instead of just being a small prequel to something we already knew about.
Mm-hmm.
But the timeline is so freaking big in the Lord of the Rings mythos in Middle Earth that you don't have any problems, because this story in what we know from the books takes place across thousands of years before The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings take place. Obviously, this is going to be condensed to a couple years so it can fit in a show, which I don't mind because this is an alternate take on it. But I dig it, and I love the actress playing young Galadriel. She's awesome. She's a badass, and I love her already. I am excited to see what's up with that.
I got through the first episode. I shouldn't say the full thing. I got halfway through the first episode before I fell asleep. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Genuinely beautiful. I tried watching it again the next morning, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, had my coffee, and I fell asleep again.
It does have a lot of exposition, that first episode.
I don't know. It's not doing it for me. Again, you've said the second episode is much better than the first, though.
Yeah. The world building is incredible. I love that. I love that you're going into new areas that you knew about from the books, but the movie audience and all that stuff, they've never seen or heard about these places. So you're traversing all that stuff. That's great. Tintin, shout out to the famous comic book strip character Tintin. Thank you for joining. Far from a faithful adaptation. Hey, that's okay. You still have the books.
Here's why. So, in my opinion, why I don't think, because Amazon, I think, has been hush hush as far as the views. I don't think I've seen how it's doing. I don't think it's doing that well, considering how much money they sunk into this, from what I've heard. And it's not because what certain people online would have you believe, with the whole stupid shit that's online. But
yeah.
I you know, it's the same old song and dance. It's the same shit as always. I think it's not striking with the audience as much because two things. Well, I think the main thing is they shot themselves in the foot by dropping this around the same time as House of the Dragon. And two, Tolkien has a very, for lack of a better term, Tolkien plays it kind of safe-ish with a lot of his material and stuff like that. Tolkien is the don't get it twisted. Tolkien is
I know where you're heading with this. Yes.
The father, Tolkien is arguably the father of modern of fantasy. A lot of stuff that people have pulled from Tolkien. You don't get a Brandon Sanderson, you don't get a Robert Jordan, you don't get a lot of these guys without Tolkien. But the thing is with Tolkien is that the estate will probably only let you do so much. You're not going to get what we're used to in a fantasy series, which is Game of Thrones. That's what we are used to in a fantasy series these days, which is Game of Thrones, which when you break down Game of Thrones, it's really just a soap opera for dudes and people die. And it really is. When you think
shout out to George R.R. Martin. Yeah.
It's when you break it down, it's really just a medieval soap opera. It's
fair.
But the thing is, to go back, it's like, well, this is great. It looks beautiful, but where's the intrigue? I'm like, there's nothing really that's grabbing me, at least in the first half of that first episode that I saw.
Also, the reason I wanted them to venture into or adapt part of the Silmarillion is because you can tell new stories and not have to worry about connecting the dots to what people already know. And I think by naming it The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, I don't like that name. You could have named it something else. And this is essentially just a straight up, like N-Man says, from the backs of the books of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. They're taking, you're going to see the rise to power of Sauron. and eventually you know what happens to Sauron. So,
Yeah.
so it's more about at least there's enough of a story there in the lore where I'm excited to see events adapted, like the forging of the rings and all that stuff, and
Mhm.
the when the elves take notice of what Sauron is doing and creating the One Ring and all that. I'm excited to see that because I've read about that stuff and I know about it, and we watched a whole trilogy talking about the friggin' rings. So to see that brought to life again is really exciting.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it being so close to Lord of the Rings, I can see some people being turned off by it because they already know what's going to happen and they want new stuff. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow,
Uh,
that's impressive.
Amazon said Rings of Power drew more than 25 million viewers worldwide on its first day. That's cool.
That's insane. That's very impressive.
Pretty
Will
good
it be?
out. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, will it be able to hold up? Will it be able to hold up? Because I've seen.
True, and it's going to
Because
be a
I.
long show too.
Yeah, huh?
It's going to be a longer show. I think it's more than 9 episodes. Let me check.
Oh, because I've seen a lot of this discussion online, and more so from the than the usual chuckle fucks, but like genuine people that are purists and they really love a lot of this stuff. A lot of the purists online for this stuff really are like, well, they changed this, they changed that. I'm not really too sure about that and stuff like that. Um, I'm not one of those guys. Honestly, I tried reading. I've said this before. I've tried reading the Silmarillion and just couldn't get through it. I know this show is based on the appendices because that's what they've got the rights to.
Yeah.
So I, I don't know. Time will tell if this huge investment that Amazon has sunk into will pay off for them. I think they spent over 700 million on this series alone. It's
It
crazy.
was around 50 plus million per episode, so it better look amazing.
Yeah.
But I love it. I like jumping back into that world
Mm.
from a visual perspective because you can always read the books, but it's so much fun to me. And yeah, it's not as dark, grim, and gritty as something like Game of Thrones, but it's based on a classic IP, so you know.
To you, does this feel like it would fit within Peter Jackson's stuff? What he did with those movies?
Some of it, yeah, I can see where they're going, especially on episode two.
Hmm.
Some other parts of it, it looks like it's a separate thing, like it's a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood type of thing, which I have to admit, or not admit, I have to tell you guys, at some point in the near future, it wouldn't surprise me if we get a rebooted Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yes.
I think that's going to happen a couple of years from now. We saw Embracer Group buying the Tolkien rights. They previously bought Dark Horse Comics, if you guys don't know, and Limited Run Games. So they have a whole model going up there. So
Oh,
now they have the Lord of the Rings stuff with the
yeah.
video games and all that.
Oh, don't think that Amazon doesn't have that on the table. I'm sure that because they also have the rights to The Hobbit and the main Lord of the Rings series to do a series or do to mess around with that timeline or whatever. And they didn't call back Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson offered his help and he got a voicemail. That was it. He
Like,
got,
nah, we're good,
we're,
homie.
we're good. So don't think that in 10 years' time, if this stuff is not doing so hot or if they need to do something, we'll get a Lord of the Rings series. Well, they'll redo those movies.
We'll cross that bridge when it comes to that. Yeah, yeah. I'm just anticipating the craziness because when that news drops, you're gonna see a lot of people upset online. Just
Oh
saying.
yeah. But hey guys, you'll at least get Tom Bombadil. There you go.
Hopefully, it happens this time. Thankfully, Rings of Power feels closer to Lord of the Rings than his Hobbit films. Yes, and at times I'm probably crazy because they're different actors. At times, some of the main characters, like Galadriel and Elrond, I could see Hugo Weaving and Kate Blanchett in there. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Certain poses or the way they were looking at stuff, I'm like, huh, yeah, that's cool.
So is Gandalf in this? It's okay if you tell me. I'm fine with it.
We don't know yet. There's a mystery character that appears, and everybody's guessing and putting out dumb clickbait articles online. We still don't know. I think it's one of the wizards, but there's no. It could be anybody right now. But it's really cool when you see that in episode 2. I'm excited for that subplot. I really want to see where they take that.
Because I can almost guarantee you, when the ratings start dipping, they'll do in case of ratings dip, break glass and bring out Gandalf.
Bring in Gandalf. The biggest thing missing for me in Rings of Power is the lack of iconic Howard Shore. I know Shore is working on it, but it doesn't quite work for me the way it did for Peter Jackson's trilogy. Bear McCreary is the one doing the score with Howard Shore in some areas. But I agree.
God, that you want to talk about iconic scores? That Lord of the Rings score. Every time you hear that opening of just you
of the Shire.
Yes, you instantly know exactly what it is.
Oh, Halbrand is Sauron. It could be. I hadn't. My mind switched off for a minute there, so I didn't put 2 and 2 together. Thank you for that, Tintin. Yeah. I'm excited to see what happens.
We know we're getting a young Saruman, right? They revealed that, I thought.
Again, we don't know. One of the new characters, he has a poster and character poster, and he's holding an apple. So people are speculating it could be Gandalf, it could be Saruman, it could be one of the other wizards, it could be Sauron because he was a shapeshifter or shapeshifter. Yeah, transforms into different people. Yeah, we'll see. Hey, look at that guy! I know that guy. Gabe loves 90s comics. Yo, dudes. Bear McCreary is awesome. His work on Black Sails is epic, but yeah, I'm not feeling it much yet. I listened to the score on Spotify, and it was all right. I love Bear, and he's done amazing work, but it was just all right. Like, if this was on another thing, it'd be like, oh my god, this is an amazing score. But for Lord of the Rings, I was like, yeah, you got your basic like hum, boom, 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 and like magical notes. It's all very what's the word I'm looking for? Like in books we would say tropes, but in music we would say what? It's all kind of safe, I guess.
Yeah.
Like generic, not generic, because that's an insult to the craft. Because he's doing an amazing work. It all sounds like the fantasy standards, with a little Lord of the Rings sprinkled in. It's not like the Howard Shore. I agree. Yeah, but I love Bear, so I'm conflicted. Whatever.
Bear McCreary is arguably one of the greatest of the new school of composers that have come out in the last few years and done this thing. He did the new Spider-Man, didn't he?
No, Spider-Man was Michael Giacchino, whatever.
See, I always get those two mixed up for some reason. In my
Bear's head. Doing God of War. Ragnarok.
That's what he did. Yes, and he did the first. Great.
Yeah, and he's famous, of course, because of Black Sails, The Walking Dead. Of course, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Hell yes, that's my favorite soundtrack. I constantly listen to that while I'm working. And a bunch of other stuff. Howard Shore composed the Rings of Power opening theme, right? I think it was. Yeah, I think so.
I just remembered. There's that meme where they tell Howard Shore, "Oh, Gabe's here." It's just a bunch of guys lighting towers. Don't worry about it. Just give us something nice. It's like the most epic thing going on. What's up, Gabe?
What's up, dude?
What's the chat? Welcome, everybody. I just got off of work, so let me pop in and talk some She-Hulk and Power of the Rings with my boys.
Of course. McCreary did Battlestar Galactica. Nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
He did Kevin Smith He-Man, too. Yeah, Bear's all over the place. I love his music. He's awesome.
The music for that He-Man was pretty cool.
That was a great series. I don't care what anybody says. That He-Man series is fun as hell.
Still haven't seen it. I'm not a fan of He-Man, honestly. Sorry. Motu's not my thing.
Dude, I don't blame you because it's a nostalgia thing, all right? Because I remember He-Man as being like super cool and badass, and I went back and watched the cartoon. I go, he's just hanging out with a bunch of stupid elves. Like this show sucks. Sorry to ruin your guys' childhood, anybody out there, but that He-Man show is god awful.
And he's
just
half naked all the time and like flexing his muscles. I don't know.
It's not even that. That's cool, you know. And like Skeletor, I always thought Skeletor was like some scary, you know, demon of a creature.
Yeah.
He's just comedy relief the whole time. He's just cackling. He-Man. That's all it does to the whole show.
It's the dumbest voice for a skeleton villain ever.
He-Man.
It's iconic,
Yeah,
but like it's super dumb at the same time.
And I'll also say Thundercats is garbage too. That's garbage.
I was gonna ask you guys just now, Thundercats or He-Man?
2011 Thundercats for me.
That was
good though, dude. Yeah. Well,
crazy.
same with He-Man. That was it. 2005 He-Man, 2002 He-Man was awesome. Where they kind of designed the characters a little bit and stuff.
Oh yeah. He-Man,
Howdy,
the best
Captain.
name ever or the worst ever?
Worst.
Sorry.
Did you guys ever watch that documentary about Man?
What was that? Sorry, you cut off for a minute.
Oh, did you ever see that Toys That Made Us
Oh,
documentary?
yeah.
about
I
He-Man?
saw the episode of He-Man. Yes.
Yeah. So it's funny about that because it's like there's these three guys that were in the toy company and everybody claims to have created He-Man. Like there is no exact ownership or there's no contingency like this person's the guy that created He-Man. It's no, I did kind of thing. It's weird.
Roberto, Silverhawks or Thundercats?
Thundercats.
It's the same show.
Space.
Silverhawks is just Thundercats in space. It's the same
Space.
voice actors and everything.
I will say they look a little cooler because they are.
But
super
yeah,
cool
they do.
and
Have, Silverhawks does have a hillbilly who plays guitar in space called Bluegrass.
I was always a Transformers kid from day one. That G1 stuff, I used to love watching those cartoons. And I remember how pissed I was at Hot Rod for causing Optimus Prime's death as a child, being like, "Oh, you son of a bitch!" And then they tried to sell you. Then they try to sell you on Hot Rod's cool, isn't he? And like they give him the spark and the matrix of leadership, and I'm like, no, fuck this dude. Hot Rod is lame. Hot Rod has never been cool.
Yeah. Kevin created He-Man. Nice. Mattel created He-Man. Nobody knows. What about SWAT Cats? That's freaking awesome. I love SWAT Cats.
SWAT Cats is great. I even did the Kickstarter for the renewal that they're coming up with.
Did that go through?
Love SWAT Cats. Yeah, they're coming with a new renewal. They call it Evolution or something like that. And I did the Kickstarter for it, and I got this really nice hoodie. And I washed it once, and now it fits my kid. Like it's just shrunk on me. I'm like, damn it! It's one of those things where it comes up to like here, the sleeves. I'm like, oh man, this sucks. I wore it one.
That's gonna be a summer sweater for you.
Yeah, but as a kid, He-Man was it for me. I have fond memories of He-Man toys. All the He-Man toys growing up.
Yeah. Cartoon
Transformers is one of the best. Yep.
I
know some people don't like it, but I love Beast Wars. I love Beast Wars.
Oh, that's the shit. I love Beast Wars. That's my Transformers. I don't care about the other stuff. It's Beast Wars.
I liked it up until the point where it becomes canon and continuity with G1. I was like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. When they find the Ark like a million years in the past and you're all still in stasis mode.
Yeah,
yes, forget about it. That blew me away.
He-Man 2003. What is that the series that you were talking about? The
I think so.
reimagining?
It's that one was amazing. Do I have the DVD around here? I don't know. But that thing is sweet. They had like the best toys. Like look that up. Like that's one of the coolest ever.
I asked.
Same with like G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe is really goofy, but then you go see like the Warren Ellis one, the G.I. Joe Resolute, and it's cool.
Oh, that one's pretty badass.
Oh
too.
no! G.I. Joe Resolute. That was the thing where I just went, "What? Did Snake Eyes just disembowel somebody on a cartoon show?"
Yeah. That's the greatest ninja fight between Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow is in that show.
Yeah, and then I saw who wrote
Snake Eye
it.
catches the sword in his hand, like he does that thing where it goes through the palm of his hand and he catches the sword like that.
And then I saw who wrote it, and I was like, oh, of course, Warren Ellis.
Yeah,
Warren Ellis.
yeah, with all the made up like technology and stuff that isn't quite made up. It's like Warren Ellis has connections with like the Pentagon. He knows the technology they got going on up there. It's
Raphael, I'm so sorry. You got GoBots. Oh,
I had
Oh.
GoBots too as a kid. I liked GoBots, but
He wanted
I
Transformers.
remember
and
getting
got
GoBots when I had
instead.
chickenpox.
Oh,
no,
man.
Gio, pull up some GoBots. There is no substitution for Transformers. If you got GoBots
Oh,
as
no.
a kid,
GoBots was like, you know, when your mom goes, "Yeah, I got your Transformer." Yeah, okay, mom, thanks. You know, it's like it's the mom's Transformers. It's like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, I want a PS4, and they give you a PlayStation, or they give you like a Nintendo. You know, moms, you call everything a Nintendo.
these things
It's
are
one of those
lame.
things.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
Like our hands are always clamped. They don't have fingers. But that Transformers, we talked about it here on the show plenty of times, I'm sure. But that Transformers 1985 movie is one of the great. It still holds up. It's still awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
It breaks my heart.
Yeah. No, when Optimus Prime first shows up and you hear You Got the Touch playing on in the background, you lose your
Oh, yeah.
mind.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
Forget about it. Like the soundtrack to that movie is incredible. It used to be on my cardio playlist, but then it gets to the song where Transformer when, Optimus Prime dies, and I have to skip it. Like it's the worst.
The hell's happening here?
Oh, this is pretty bad.
What? Look at that face. What is happening? Yeah, that's weird.
That's weird. But
I
that's
think
GoBots
GoBots
for
came
you.
first. I could be wrong. When did GoBots first appear? I want to know.
I think they came out first in Japan or something like that.
GoBots toy line from transforming robot toy line from Tonka, 1983 to 1987, similar to Hasbro's Transformers, which debuted back in 1984.
Wow.
So GoBots arrived in the scene first.
Yeah, because Transformers originally was called Diagonals, I think, in Japan, and then they brought it over to Marvel, and then it was Bud Budiansky that like came up with all these different names. Like he came up with the name for Optimus Prime and stuff like that. That was all Marvel.
Yeah, but it's not as cool. Like GoBots aren't as cool as Transformers.
You can be first, and that doesn't. Yeah, nobody cares about GoBots as much as Transformers.
I have a slight confession. I don't think that first Transformers Michael Bay movie is that bad.
No,
I can rewatch that anytime and have fun with it. The other movies, not so much.
I don't think it's that bad.
I remember seeing that movie in theaters, and that first Transformer, like in the military base, the helicopter that transforms, was one of those midnight releases back when you go to mid-release, and the whole place just erupted when he transformed for the first time. And I just still have that memory. I was like, this is such a great fan experience. But yeah, it's an okay movie. It's great. It's not, it's not better than the cartoon movies or anything like that. You know, for some people, that is their Transformers is the Michael Bay stuff.
It did the impossible, which was to transition Transformers into live action, which I didn't think it was possible. Yeah. So I still get goosebumps when Optimus first shows up in that movie, because it's what's his face, Peter Cullen doing the voice, and the score of the Transformers movies are fantastic. If you guys like movie soundtracks, you think it was Steve Jablonsky who did the score?
No, it was Linkin Park.
Well, Linkin Park showed up at the end with the credit song. And that became a meme on Twitter. Now every movie has to have that scene, and it ends Linkin Park style, 2007.
That was annoying.
But that score from Jablonsky is phenomenal. I love that, especially in the scenes that Gabe mentioned with the copter.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think I vividly remember I went to the midnight showing of this movie, and the scene where Optimus rolls up and you hear that transformation sound, and you see it for the first time, and how he changes into Optimus. You're like, oh my god, this is amazing. Because you as a kid, you always wanted to see the Transformers in live action. And I remember Michael Bay getting a lot of shit where people were like, well, it's not the same truck. And Michael Bay defended it in a way. I get his point of view where he's like, look, the parts have to go somewhere. So this is the reason we chose the truck we did, because it's easier for the parts to go where they need to go and stuff like that. And design wise, it just makes a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
We would then get Bumblebee, which then kind of redoes that, where we get the classic G1 Transformers. I love Bumblebee. I still think Bumblebee's a great movie.
Oh, that first 10 minutes.
Oh my
glorious.
god. The first 10 minutes is what I wanted that movie to be for 2 hours.
Is that the CGI Cybertron stuff?
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, dude, that was the best. That was better than all Michael Bay movies put together. Was that like that 10-minute sequence or whatever it was?
Oh my god. I was
Oh.
like, don't go to Earth. It sucks here. Please don't go to Earth. I hate it on this planet. Let's stay
And then-
here. It's amazing.
And then the last shot when it's the old school Optimus Prime truck
Yes.
on that bridge with
Oh.
the trailer. Forget about it, dude. That's perfect. That was like the greatest thing about that whatsoever.
I wish they kept going with that series. I don't know. I don't think it did. It didn't do that great in theaters. And I wish they kept going with it, because I was like, God damn it, they have so much potential here.
I thought they were doing like a CGI, like all Cybertron stuff, like that
No.
first 10 minutes.
The next one's going to be Rise of the Beast, which is, of course, based on Beast Wars. And I'm pretty sure they're going to butcher it, but I'm going to go see it anyways.
Oh, they're gonna just totally just not get it at all. There's some concept design out there for. I don't know if they're using the same concept design, but if you look it up, for Michael Bay was gonna do a Beast Wars kind of type movie, and there's concept art out there of the designs that he was gonna use, and it's okay. You could check it out. You could find it online. But yeah, the first 10 minutes of Bumblebee, I think Omar passed out. He probably busted about 4 times watching the first 10
Oh,
minutes.
dude. Totally rebuttered my popcorn.
So, wish my car was a Transformer? Yeah. Hey, hardcover hideout. Thank you for joining.
Hey guys.
Hey, yeah, I seen him on Instagram. Awesome, man. Good to see him in.
Nice. But I want to see the big monkey against the T-Rex. That's what I want to see in a Transformers movie.
Oh, Optimus Primal, and then
Optimus Primal and what was his name for Megatron? Didn't he have a different name?
It was just Megatron.
Megatron. Okay, there you
Yeah, it
go.
was just Megatron. Man, I remember as a kid watching Beast Wars, and you have that first scene where Unicron shows up and he's talking to Optimus Primal, and you're like, holy shit, the second moon is Unicron. And like my childhood mind blew up.
or even like how Starscream was like a disembodied spirit.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yep.
Because the whole concept was you can't kill Starscream for whatever reason. And he would go around from planet to planet, and he inhabited the spirit of Waspinator. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And Waspinator became a badass for a whole episode, which usually is the butt of the joke. It was so good. Oh my gosh. That was such a great series.
Oh,
Yeah,
they
then
have-
it turned into like Beast Machines, and then I kind of fell off after that.
yeah. They even
Yeah.
put out a video game for Beast Machines. It's not great either.
Those War of Cybertron games are supposed to be excellent, though.
I have the one for PlayStation 4 that's cel-shaded. I can't remember the name. Transformers Devastation, I think it's called.
The Devastator game, yeah.
Yeah, that one's phenomenal. I love that one. Have you seen this statue? This is amazing. I know it's not the Prime one or whatever, like $1,000, but this one for $500. This is pretty.
Oh, that's cute. He's even got the disc too.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
I don't know about that head sculpt. That head sculpt doesn't scream like Megatron to me. I don't know.
No, it screams like Beast Machines.
A little bit.
Yeah.
What was the line of toys, Gio, a few years ago that it was Beast Wars, but they did like a hyper detailed version of them, and they looked amazing.
Was that the Masterpiece series?
I think it's Masterpiece.
where you had Dinobot, you had Optimus, and they looked badass.
Yeah, I think that's the Masterpiece series. Yeah,
they're
I
going.
have the Masterpiece Soundwave, but I wanted to get those Beast Machine or those Beast Wars ones, but those things are like $300 or something.
Yeah, they're going for a lot on the aftermarket right now.
Yeah,
I want them, but they're expensive.
yeah.
Damn, Optimus is so tiny compared to Megatron.
Yeah, I got the Masterpiece Soundwave I have on
Nice.
my desk.
Look at that. Look at the T-Rex.
Yeah, dude, he looks great. He's like the right purple. He's got the right texture to him and stuff. You can see like the scales. He's great. Those Masterline figures, they're expensive, but when you get them, you can see why. Like they're really tuned out. They're really great. Look at Dinobot, dude. Dinobot's a badass. Look at that thing, dude. Oh,
Yeah. Spoilers for a show that's like 30 years out now. When he bites the dust in the show, I cried as a kid. That was amazing.
Same.
Oh yeah, he sacrificed himself. He was a bad guy, and he turned into a kind of anti-hero good guy. Yeah.
Yep.
They really sell that episode too because they build up to the ending of it. It's really emotional, and Dinobot feels like he's useless now and everything like that because he's outdated as a model. I'm like, God damn, yeah, they gave this character a lot of pathos.
And then they had the cool idea of making the transmetals, which was the evolution stage for these characters. And Dinobot came back as a skeleton velociraptor thing, which was amazing.
Gio, can you click on that box image of Dinobot? Yeah, look how cool he looks even as a dinosaur. Like he looks great. That big old that big old bot version, the bot mode. He transforms into like that little skinny T-Rex thing or that little raptor thing, and it's seamless. Like there's not a bunch of parts hanging out and stuff like that. It's really cool.
This is selling on eBay for $260.
This sounds about right. I think that's retail when they first came out. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't remember. Those things are always pretty pricey.
Man, there's a badass. It's coming out soon. I'm looking at it right now. A badass Transmetal 2 Megatron Masterline statue right now that just looks amazing, Gio. I could put it in the chat.
Let me see if I can find that.
I can put it in.
This makes me want to go out and start buying Masterpiece Transformers, but not really. I'm going to drop $300 on a toy.
Yo, that's sick.
Right?
Anybody who's listening to this on our new podcast audio version now is going to be like, dang it, I don't know what they're talking about because it's very visual at this point.
Oh, shoot. I forgot about that. Let me pull up the image that you shared on our chat. We're on every streaming thingamajig for podcasts, guys. You don't just have to listen to us on YouTube.
Yeah, so if you can, do us a favor. What are we on, Gabe? We're on Spotify. We're on Spreaker. We're on just about everything.
Yeah, we're on so much, dude. Anchor FM, Spotify, Apple iTunes or Apple Podcast, Google, Amazon Music. Like I put ourselves on like all the big platforms. Mm-hmm. So if you are a podcast person, then and you could definitely subscribe to whatever your favorite platform is. I think we're on. And if we're not, let me know. I can see if you get us on there. But yeah, so subscribe to us, give us 5-star reviews, things like that to help kind of, give the show some more visual output up there throughout the podcast line. Because I'm a podcast person myself. That's why I was like, let's do this. Because I'm not much of a YouTube guy. I don't have the time to kind of sit here and watch. But if it's audio, I'll listen to it while I'm driving, listen to it at the gym, things of the sorts like that. So if you're a podcast person, you can definitely get your Omnibros fix on your favorite podcast platform.
And review us. It helps the algorithm and it helps us get noticed a little bit more. So we appreciate it, and we appreciate the hard work you put in, Gabe, to get us all on there because it was a fucking mess.
Apple was a mess. I don't know why it was an issue before, but like everything else, I was just like, I just copy and paste our feed into this. Perfect. Whatever. It was great.
Whoa. Hold on.
Dude, that Megatron, it's almost $3,000, but good Lord.
I'm late. Hold on. I'm uploading the picture now. I forgot where it was.
Thank you. I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah. There we go. There it is.
Look at all that.
Yeah. Stitcher Radio, Google Podcast, Amazon, Spotify. That's awesome that you can hear my voice on Spotify. That's cool. Mm-hmm. Our voices.
And on Amazon too. Thank you,
Amazon, Anchor. So with Amazon, can you tell the voice operated thing? What's it called? Alexa,
Alexa?
to play Omnibros Live. Is that a thing that can happen? Now?
I know you could do that for sure for Spotify. Like on Spotify, you can say like, Alexa, play Omnibros Live on Spotify. No problem.
Oh, I dig that. That's cool.
Or probably even on Amazon Music. Yeah.
Nice. Everybody, check us out.
Guys, I'm just drooling over this Megatron Prime 1 statue.
It's pretty sick.
It's pretty badass.
Yeah, those Prime ones are crazy. It probably comes in 2 huge boxes too.
It's how much is it?
$3,000.
$2,500.
Gabe, did you sell a lot of those when you worked at your shop? Would you have guys come in and pick up statues like this all the time?
Oh, big time, dude. Yeah, we were definitely selling. Especially things like Prime 1, XM is another high-end one. They're like super high-end, and they come out of Singapore. So there's, at the time, I don't know about currently, there was really no U.S. distributor for Prime 1, so you had to do like you had to have like a homie hookup kind of thing, like an in-between guy to do it. So that made them a little bit more pricey because you had to pay like an extra like a couple of $100 for shipping or whatever it was. But nobody else in town or really in the States would carry them. So yeah, all those things we sold like massive amounts of like Prime 1, XM, $2,000-$3,000 statues all the time.
And the price did not deter people away from picking these up.
Oh,
No, definitely no. If you're a statue collector like this, then you have that kind of money to burn.
Wow.
I don't I still like to buy my Bowen bus off of eBay for like $60.
I'm more into the 6-inch toy line. That's good.
I was into statues before. Like I used to have a fairly good statue collection from Sideshow, and I ended up just kind of selling them all off.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it's one of those things where it just gets pricier and pricier. They just keep going up in quality, and they keep going up in prices. So
it's a money pit. You just keep going into it.
I speak out of experience. Statues the size of one's torso in boxes almost as big as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
There's a Grail piece that I'm after. Someday I'll try and get it. Not now. It's not a priority. I want the XM Medusa and Lockjaw. I don't know if you guys have seen that one.
Oh, yeah. I've had those at Torpedo a couple times. We had all the Inhumans. The Black Bolt one's dope, too.
The Black Bolt looks amazing. Yep. Mira has a really cool one, comic book Mira. And I think this is super cheap compared to those. First Four Figures put out Samus, and that's my statue Grail, if anybody's interested.
So I think they had an Aquaman too, and he was on a seahorse, but he was like badass.
Yes. I have the Sideshow, the old school Sideshow Aquaman, and I would like to display Samus sometime in the future if I'm able to acquire her.
That Medusa in Lockjaw is great because it's all Lockjaw. Like the whole thing's Lockjaw. He's just this massive puppy, right? He's just this huge old massive puppy dog.
And then Mira's like this big, it's like she's big. She's like, she's a good size, but then you got like Lockjaw that's basically like my shoulders. Like he was like this huge, massive, not like got massive shoulders, I'm not trying to brag, but he's just this big, massive, like just wrinkly dog. He was awesome.
Here's a look at that.
Wow.
Yeah, he's so cool.
Wow.
I like that she's sitting on her hair. That's practical.
It's a nice little touch.
So I really want that one.
Yeah, those are like $2,000 or something. At least when I remember I was selling them, I think they were like $1,800 at the time, and that was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Black Bolt screaming.
That Black Bolt one's cool because you can put them on top of that statue as well. There's 2 different spots you can place them. Yeah.
He is screaming because there are no Inhumans Omnibus yet. He knows my pain.
My Grail has always been, and I've seen this 1,000 times, and every time I see it, I want it. It's the Hulkbuster with the Hulk, the two, but you got to buy the 2 pieces and put them together, right? Isn't that how they sell it?
You mean the Hulkbuster? Yeah.
From the MCU?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the World War Hulk one.
No. They're huge. The Hulkbuster versus the Hulk from the Age of Ultron movie.
Yeah.
It's badass, but Jesus, you got to buy both pieces separately and then put them together.
Sideshow had this one. My friend had it. It was World War Hulk. You had like the whole regalia with the armor and like the shield and the helmet, and it was versus Silver Surfer. And Silver Surfer had like the surfboard has like a shield. It was awesome.
Nice.
Extreme Studios Daredevil. I think I know which one that is. I think that's the one he's on top of like a building or something like that. If I remember right.
Speaking of Daredevil and Marvel, what about let's talk about She-Hulk episode 3 and how people lost, or certain people lost their noggins online.
It divided the comic book community. I don't know if that's the comic book community, but it divided fans 100% really bad.
I'm amazed.
Really toxic online with that kind of stuff.
I'm amazed at this show. There are people that absolutely hate it to hell and back, and there are the bunch of us that really, really love it. I was not expecting so much hate. I kind of knew it was going to happen, but like, wow, Jesus.
So, I think I was the one in the group chat where I was like, I don't like this at all. I think it's kind of cringy. I just didn't do anything for me. And it was the first time where I even said, I was like, this is the first time where I looked at the MCU and I said, what are they doing? But then I moved on with my life, like most adults, and I forgot about it.
Exactly.
But apparently the internet lost their fucking minds and went crazy over a 10-second clip that's really amounts to a whole big nothing, honestly. Yeah. Other than that, I thought it was a great episode. I loved it.
It's awesome too because that whole episode was
about like about online people having complaints about why does everything have to be a woman? This ain't the real Hulk. I don't like women as Hulk women and stuff like that or whatever was going on. And it was like legitimately like the same type of tweets or messages that you see on, like, on social media and stuff like that. So it was really just digging into it, and then they have that twerking scene at the end, and it just kind of reevaluated and really cemented that idea and that kind of joke about certain people who are just upset about it because of whatever they want to feel about it. But it was just funny how it kind of just looked into it all.
Yep. Here's the thing that I love about that is because in the first 16 seconds they go, yeah, these are these guys. Like, we know, we're aware of it. They've got one shtick, and we're gonna put it all out there in the first 16 seconds of this episode. And
that was glorious. I loved it.
It was great. It was great because it's literally all the same stuff that you hear all the time.
It's the same stupid narrative all over again,
every single time. And at the end of the episode, it was almost like we know where this is. We know who these people are they're gonna complain about. It's gonna be the same stupid thing, and yeah, we don't care. We're gonna move on, and we're gonna have Megan Thee Stallion twerking with She-Hulk.
It's that 8 Mile Eminem kind of ending where he's like, oh, okay, you're gonna make fun of me, so I'm about to make fun of myself first, so that you really don't have anything to say. It's kind of that thing where you guys are just saying the exact same thing they were making fun of in the show. So yeah, you guys are really just proving their point.
Yeah, 100%. But overall, I gotta give credit where credit is due. The whole thing with the Abomination, tying that scene in with Wong from Shang-Chi into this,
and Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, and how she wants to get him out of jail and stuff like that. That was really either they must have. I don't know if they planned it or if they lucked out into it, but that worked really well. How they tied that in. Mm-hmm. I give them their flowers for that because I was like, wow, that is actually kind of impressive.
If you look beyond the female thing and oh my god, she's stronger than the Hulk, or why is the Hulk doing yoga and that kind of stuff. The show's great. Like, the storyline's cool. It connects to other things, and just not even the things that connect, but just the story of like that other attorney that got like catfished by that shapeshifter into thinking it was like Megan Thee Stallion and all that stuff, and how it's like, well, who would think that? And he kind of proved the point how this guy's like super arrogant and like dumb and would believe that because he's just that arrogant in himself. That whole story and all that was just fun. I mean, this is like Ally McBeal, but with a Hulk. It's a sitcom. It's a sitcom. I don't know what some people expected from something called She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Like, they wanted it to be.
They mentioned in the get-go that it was going to be a comedy. So, She-Hulk, review bombing sucks no matter what it is. I hate that.
That's why. Rotten Tomatoes loses all integrity. Who cares? Like all that stuff, you get. Again, it's critics being critical, but then you get the people who just want to review bomb that and review bomb Miss Marvel. Like somehow that's going to affect anything.
Yeah.
Doesn't affect the way I feel about the show or if I'm going to watch it or not.
Matt, that is awesome. That's great. I love Iron Maiden. You're gonna have so much fun.
Maiden at the end of the month.
Yeah, that's
getting that mosh pit, Matt. You're in shape and you're lifting weights, dude.
You're gonna Hulk out in that mosh pit.
Yeah, elbow some fool in the teeth.
James, I didn't want to know this, but thank you. I think She-Hulk had the first uncensored MCU completely nude character with the Abomination. All right. I didn't need to see that, but cool.
That's it.
Real quick, do you think, because we know they're making a Thunderbolts movie, do you think Blonsky is telling the truth about how he wants to go straight and narrow? Because the actor is selling it really well.
I think he's going to be in the Thunderbolts movie.
I think so too.
I think you have to have him be a villain somehow. You want to believe him and you want to think that he's been rehabilitated. Same with any bad character. Oh, yeah, he's been rehabilitated. He served his time. No, I don't think that's true. I think we're going to get more Abomination versus Hulk or Abomination action in it and stuff like that. I think we're going to get more of him turning into it and stuff. We
need to see more supervillains incarcerated because they're killing people left and right in these movies. And so far, Abomination's the only one in jail. I never see any other supervillain in maximum prison.
They have the raft, right? So why not use it, right?
Yeah.
That to me feels like a bit of a missed opportunity. If there's only one thing where I'm like, you have this huge facility, you gotta have some other villains in there, right? Like you could be walking by and you can get a quick glimpse of maybe Diablo or something like that in the background or something. God damn, I will get Red Ghost at some point in the MCU. I know it.
Red Ghost.
I know it'll happen at some point in the MCU.
Do you think Wong is involved with the Thunderbolts? That'd be pretty cool.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think it's more ground level characters. I don't think there'll be too many of the magical stuff. I think did they leak what character is going to be in Thunderbolts?
They've said Florence Pugh's character, which is the alternate Black Widow, is supposedly going to be leading the new Thunderbolt squad. What's her name from Seinfeld? She's the one that's overseeing. She's the Amanda Waller for the
Julia Louis-Dreyfus, whatever her character's name is. That really long weird name.
Yeah. She's supposed to be the Amanda Waller. Yeah.
So U.S. agent supposed to be back, right? John Walker is supposed to be back.
Yep.
The bad guy from Falcon and Winter Soldier. What's his name? Baron Zemo. Yeah.
Baron Zemo. Ghost is supposed to be coming back, I think they said too. I would love it. My favorite Thunderbolts run is when Luke Cage was in charge of the team. I would love for them to do that, where it was Man-Thing and Ghost and Crossbones.
It's Morbid time.
Oh yeah, that's on Netflix now.
That's on Netflix. Unfortunately,
I'm not
for
interested.
everybody.
I don't know those Sony other movies that aren't Spider-Man related, that are Spider-Man related but not Spider-Man, like Venom 2 and Morbius. I'm not. I can live without watching that stuff.
I don't.
You're not gonna watch Craven?
I don't know.
Animal.
I usually do watch those movies, but I don't know. Especially with like they made it where he was like an animal lover
he's an animal rights activist in the new movie.
I don't know if it was leaked or they put out a summary of it or something, but he's a legacy character, and Russell Crowe, who's in the movie, he's the original Craven, and he's the one from the comics, and now his son is the animal lover activist and all that stuff. I think that's what they're doing.
Give me the real Craven.
No.
And then give me the real Craven where he eats a shotgun.
Stop it. God damn it. Stop. Fuck Sony. Stop. God fucking damn it. Stop it. We don't need it. Stop it. You have a fucking gold mine. Just loan Spider-Man out to Marvel. Just do that. Please don't touch anything else. Just collect your check.
Or, like we mentioned on this show a lot, Use friggin' Andrew Garfield and make a Craven's Last Hunt movie. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Yes.
I want to see Craven eat a shotgun because it's just that was my introduction to Craven. Reading it as a kid was when he just swallowed that shotgun.
Yeah,
I was like, "Whoa, what's going on here?"
Look,
Wow.
we know Andrew Garfield's character has already said he doesn't pull his punches anymore. He kills. So you introduce Craven the Hunter. He comes in because he hears this superhero named Spider-Man is going fucking nuts, killing people, blah, blah, blah. You bring him into New York City. You have them fight. And then ultimately Andrew Garfield goes through his character arc. And at the end, he's like, wow, I'm not going to kill anymore. I'm going to get my life together. There's your fucking movie. There's your Craven movie.
that's gonna be dope. You think we'll get Citizen V or Mach 5 or just the same characters that we know from the MCU? I think it's the characters that we already know, and maybe introduce one new guy.
I would like to see new characters. I would like to see, like Mach 5 or Mockingbird, or was it Mockingbird or Songbird? I forgot her name, but yeah, I would like to see some of that.
Songbird, I think.
Yeah.
What are they doing, Gio?
Or even I'd like to see like the Warren Ellis era of stuff where it was what's his face was in charge. Norman Osborn doing like the Dark Reign. It was like Bullseye and stuff like that on there.
Yeah.
We still have at least Miles Morales. That is still Into the Spider-Verse is still my perfect Spider-Man movie.
It keeps getting delayed. When is it coming out now?
Next Christmas?
I think it's next Christmas.
Something like that. I might be wrong, but yeah, they pushed it back.
It was supposed to be out this year, I think.
But they've even had like some toilers where there was a toy that was coming out and it has like Ben Reilly on the box. So like I guess Ben Reilly's going to be in it.
Yep. They split it into two parts. They're doing part 1 and part 2 of it.
Yeah.
Now.
The Spot's the villain in it, which is pretty cool.
June 2nd, 2023, but I don't know about that. The Spot, Jessica Drew's going to be in it.
What's the Spider-Punk Spider is going to be in it?
Robbie something. The Vulture is going to be a Renaissance-inspired criminal with an Italian accent.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's from a different dimension, I guess.
Yeah, an alternate reality. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a female Doc Ock in the last movie. That was cool. That was a huge reveal.
And Japanese Spider-Man is going to show up. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was going to be the Ninja Spider-Man from that old Spider Clan comic book.
Oh, from the Mangaverse?
Yeah, the Mangaverse stuff. Yeah, I thought they were going to do that.
That was early Scotty Young. That was good stuff.
Yeah.
Man.
I remember when they put his skin on the Ultimate Spider-Man game and the Activision Spider-Man games. That was really fun.
Oh, really? That's cool. I used to have the toy. There was a little toy of the manga Spider-Man with the web backpack and stuff.
The backpack.
Cool. Yeah.
I think they could bring him back and it'd be a hit. They do manga Spidey. But actually,
these days manga, like even like that Deadpool manga that came out was like a huge seller. So I could definitely see that being something coming up.
I haven't read it. Riley hated it, but it's been selling pretty well.
Riley hates it because he hates Rob Liefeld.
That's true, actually. There's a personal grudge there.
Yeah, Rob Liefeld must have like spit in his cereal one day or something. I don't know.
They got into a weird beef on Twitter for like a minute. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was weird.
New trailer for Black Adam tomorrow. Yes, I'm so excited for that.
Oh, is there a new trailer for it tomorrow?
Yeah,
it's probably gonna be like
it's
probably gonna be overlooked with all the Disney Plus stuff coming out.
And yeah, that's right.
Disney Plus this weekend, right? Yeah, starting tomorrow.
D23. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, D10. When is the D23?
It's this weekend. It's Disney Plus Day tomorrow and Friday, and then I think that leads into D23 over the weekend. Ooh. And this is supposed to be like where they announce like the Fantastic Forecast and more Marvel MCU stuff, Disney Plus stuff. Like it's going to be just like, it's going to be just like a geek like smorgasbord of just amazing things coming out. It's going to be just news article after news article.
Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, James.
Thank you, James.
I'll keep tabs of that. We can talk about it next week. They have a panel. Sorry to interrupt. They have a panel that's about the state of video games for Marvel and Disney.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure they're just going to announce new stuff, but fingers crossed. I know it's not going to happen, but I want to think they'll announce a retro collection of the arcade titles from the late 80s, early 90s, and the beat 'em ups and the Punisher,
like
and
the
all
Spider-Man game and the Captain America Avengers game.
Yes, I want that in a like a little Switch collection, please. Let's make that happen.
Gio, you just put my hopes up, man. Darn it.
Marvel, listen to me. I know you watch this show. Kevin Feige, I know you watch this.
Oh, they do.
The Thing, Danny DeVito. Just think about it. Just think about it.
That's a wild cast.
I would pay big money to see Danny DeVito as Ben Grimm.
That's gonna be interesting who they cast. I'm just gonna just nerd out with the Fantastic Four cast. I'm hoping for John Krasinski to stick around. I hope, but we'll see what happens.
Well, for continuity's sake, I know it's a variant, but
still, I think, yeah, he was a fantastic Mr. Fantastic. No pun intended, but I think he really fits the character. I think he looks great.
He looks great.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you though, if they announced the cast and they said, and the villain, the Red Ghost, I will lose my shit.
I don't think they can even call him Red Ghost anymore. That's just such a weird, 1960s Cold War term.
Yeah, the villain Red Ghost, I would lose my shit in the living room. Like, fuck yeah, they did it. They brought the
gives a character. If they name him something else, it's not going to be the same.
Just the Ghost or something, because he was a communist, so they called him the Red Ghost.
Next Imaginaut, Gio, I keep nudging Omar to urge David Gabriel to release either an Omni or trade paperback of Ryoichi Ikegami's Spider-Man, the manga, to coincide with the Spider-Verse manga thing, Spider-Man. That's pretty cool. Yeah, keep doing that. Yeah. I think either an Omni or trade paperback of that series, the 90s X-Men manga, and the untranslated Hulk would all sell really well. Yeah, we're on an all-time high with manga, so I think they could experiment with that at some point.
I don't think that would be a bad idea for them to have a sub line of manga. Like I said, they already did that Deadpool one that was a really good seller. So why not do Spider-Man, X-Men?
And they have the other one with the late the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! That passed away recently. I can't remember the name of the manga where it's Spider-Man and Iron Man in Japan, and it's drawn and colored by him. It looks amazing.
Or even kind of bring this around full circle, that Transformers manga that they released a couple years ago was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's a market for it. We all know manga sells way better than American comics do. So why not? Stores, comic book stores. If you're not carrying manga, you're missing out. You're just dinosaurs living in your own time. You need stores that expand into manga are doing the right thing.
Yeah, Secret Reverse. Thank you, James. James is our sixth man tonight. Thank you.
Good job, James. Always with the good info from James, man. Thanks.
For a few seconds, I thought Jim was going to say, man, if we can't get an Inhumans Omnibus in 2022, an Inhumans game, you're looking at 2030 for that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Unless they do a movie and it's really cool. I don't know.
They were in the Lego games, right? They had the Inhumans in the Lego games.
Yeah, they're on there. I only have the PlayStation 4 Lego Marvel game, and that was a lot of fun. And they're on there.
Those Lego games in general are just really fun. That, and then I would love to go back and, it's not super retro, but Xbox 360 days or PS3 days and get those Ultimate Alliance games again.
Yes.
Actually, I gotta get going, guys.
Yeah, it's getting late, right? It's almost 7.
I'm gonna do 2 more minutes to wrap everything up. This question is very important. Sorry, Gio, your arcade Marvel collection is divided between Capcom and Konami. Which one you want? Capcom, all day, every day. I'm a huge Capcom fan. We can worry about Konami another day.
Capcom.
Would that be just the fighting games then? Is that how that's divided? I'm not sure which ones are into which category.
Most of the fighting games are Capcom. So I would put out a Marvel versus collection with Marvel versus Capcom, X-Men versus Street Fighter, all that stuff. That'd be pretty cool.
Is Konami all the beat 'em up stuff then?
Konami has, I think, Captain America. And the Spider-Man stuff, I think. I don't know. Need to look that up.
Yeah, those retro X-Men or Spidey games or Marvel games would be cool in the collection.
Yeah. Capcom has my favorite fighting game of all time, Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
That's a good one. Yeah. Speaking of Turbo, you can get all the books that we talked about all the superheroes that we talked about at our sponsor's website. That's instocktrades.com, your home for all things collected editions. You get your omnibus, trade paperbacks, hardcovers, manga, box sets, all that fun stuff. You get it there. Up to 50% off. If you order on a week-by-week basis, you get that extra 2%. We call that the loyalty discount. If you place an order of $50 or more, you get free shipping. Fantastic customer service and wonderful packaging. That's In Stock Trades, the official sponsor of Omnibros Live here on the Omnibus Collectors Network. Shout out to IST. Thank you to the chat, as always, for tuning in. This was a random, wacky, awesome episode all over the place, but in good amounts. Thank you to everybody watching later. Let us know what you thought of the episode and the topics discussed. And if you're listening to us on the podcast thingamajig, thank you so much. Give us a good rating. What else? Tomorrow we're going to do a manga episode. Riley's going to be on, and we may have another guest appearance from somebody. I'm going to find out in 12 hours. We'll see.
It's the creator berserk.
Kentaro Miura from the grave.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kentaro Miura. And it's not just Omar trying to be a Chinese person, an Asian Japanese person.
Like Cebulski when he did
like Stevie Cebulski when he used to write the Marvel manga stuff.
Yeah, that's going to be Omar. He's going to make a fake Japanese pseudonym.
Like the most generic Japanese pseudonym, like Stevie Cebulski did. Basically like the John Smith of like Japanese names.
Of Japanese manga. So that's going to happen. Look forward to that.
Ladies and gentlemen.
It was like Akira or something. I don't know.
Akira Yoshida, something like
that. That was close.
Yeah. So, Comics Guide, Lou, where can people find you on the internet when you're here with us?
You can find me at Comics Guide 101 on Twitter. Comics Guide 101 is an archive of old videos. And this Saturday, Gabe and I will be hosting another Patreon. We did one last Saturday. We're doing another one this Saturday to make up for well, technically we made up for it already, but that'll be this month's Patreon show. And that description is found down below in the description. I'm really tired, guys, so sorry. That link is found down below in the description, where for $5 a month, you can join Gabe and I as we shoot the shit for about 2 hours. And you get the archive of all the old stuff that we've done. So there's hours and hours of content of stuff that Gabe and I have discussed that is uncensored, unfiltered, and we've talked about a lot of stuff we probably shouldn't talk about. But it's always a fun time. And you guys can join us as well, kind of like what Gio is doing and what Gabe is doing with I, where you can actually join the chat. So you're going to ask us live questions, and we'll answer.
Perfect. Beautiful. Gabe loves 90s comics. How about yourself, my dude?
Yep, you guys can follow me, Gabe Loves 90s Comics, on Instagram. Also, you could follow Omnibros Live on Instagram as well. So that account is back up and running also. And of course, again, I'm going to keep pumping that podcast because that's the new thing, and my kid wants to go to bed. But yeah, hit us up on all the podcast platforms as well.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. You can find me on my channel. That's If We Can Geek Them, where I talk about anime and manga. And I should have a new episode in a couple hours. I just need to finish editing it. That's going to be it for now. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the sponsor. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to everybody watching. We love you. Thank you so much. We can't do this show without every single one of you. We'll catch you on the next stream. Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Subscribe.